Alrighty, and here we go. Did it catch it? Nope. Of course not. There you are. Do it this way. Alright, let's go to the phone. We'll do it this way. I don't know if I got the volume up or not. Nope, I do not. Alrighty then. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Okie dokie then. Hello, Jessica. Hello. Welcome. Hello. All right. Yes, you are here. I see you. Okay. It looks like it might be just us two. Don't know yet. We're going to try and finish this painting off, okay? All right. Let me zoom in for a second. We don't need to see the whole thing. We'll just kind of zoom in on certain subjects and go on from there. It will go out of focus. All right, we'll work on the rocks. Might as well. Okay, let's look at the palette. The palette should be up above. I'll just take the pencil here. We have lamp black, titanium white, cad orange, cad yellow, sap green, Prussian blue for right now. Okay, all right. Let's get us a small brush. I found one, and we're gonna scumble some rock patterns. We got to create the rock color. All right, RV DJ, hello. Rosemary Weber, hello. We're gonna try to knock this thing off. We're gonna try to finish it tonight. Okay, then we'll get on with the minute small stuff. All right, so we're gonna take care of the rocks here. All right. I did not clean any of my water, but it's okay. It's quite all right. I do have my coffee with me. Okay, let's get a little bit of black. We'll just put it right here in front of everything. We'll get a little bit of white. We'll put it right here in front of everything. And we'll just make some quick gray here. Okay. That gray should be okay. We'll use this for the base color of the rocks. Once again, we'll just kind of scumble it on there. All right. And I'll just get the color going here. Now, as I do this, I'm using the side of the brush. And this is just the general color of the rock. You know, now remember the lit side is on the side I'm on right now, so obviously it'll get the most love. Okay, and we'll kind of, once again, we'll just, you know, kind of pop some colors on here. We'll fade some of this. The bottom is generally left pretty dark. Okay, once again, we'll just kind of scumble on that color. It's okay. All right, we'll try to get that black outline up out of there a little bit. And if I don't get it out good enough, that's all right. We'll just do it in the highlighting, no big deal. We'll do it with this one. You just mask a general color. I gotta move my head because I can't see it because of the glare of the light. And we'll just kind of get some interesting patterns and shapes here going on. We'll kind of pop it in there. The paint will naturally just wear away as you rub it on the canvas. Obviously, you guys know that. And so you kind of work with what you got. Okay. And we'll kind of just color it in. Try to get rid of that black outline if you can. All right. And if you can't, we'll just get rid of it in the highlighting. No big deal. Nothing to write home about. Something like that. Let's add a little more white to that. Okay. So we add a touch of white to that gray. We'll just lighten it up a tad. We're going to use, once again, just the side of the brush. Okay, and you can see the color shift. So it's a little bit lighter in tone. We'll go back up here to rock number 1. And we'll kind of put some directional stuff in there like this. Just where you would think the light will be hitting on this fella. Okay. Might need to be a touch brighter. But, you know, you just keep at it. Just keep brightening the the rock there. All right. It's not the final highlight, but you know, you do want to show some difference in the rock a little bit. It's not going to be too bright in the other shaded areas. You know, some of that light kind of creeps around a little bit. We're going to do the very same thing with the other rock back here. Once again, just kind of highlight where the general light will hit on yonder rock, like that. Put it around there. You know it's going to be lit on this side, so this is where you would put some of that highlight. I'll get a touch of white, put it in here, mix it in with this other gray here to get me some more secondary color happening here. And you kind of get up in here and do one of those numbers like that, kind of go over it again a little bit just to lighten it up a tad. All right, now I'm going to use my finger. It's still pretty wet, and you can kind of use your finger and kind of soften those edges a bit, drag it down a tad, get some of that brightness over here. You know, the sunlight kind of hit and misses in spots. All right, now we get a little something over here. Don't get rid of all of your dark, okay? All right, we'll clean off the brush here. A few different ways to do rocks. Get some more white. This would be our final highlight. Mostly white, get a little bit of gray sneaking in there, but mostly white. It's very light gray. Just contaminate the white there, okay? All right, same brush. Let's go back over here to our friend, and I'll just kind of tap some little edges in there. I'll use my finger for some soft blending and direct sunlight. This is where the sun is directly beaming on yonder rock here. Okay, like that. Keep some of the rough, craggy areas. So it's kind of a three-step stage. This is traditional kind of fine painting type of deal here. You know, you got your base color, which is, you know, that deep gray. Your black is always your shadow color. All right, we'll come over here on the side on this one like that. Play around with it a little bit here and there. All right, just like that. And there you go, rock. All right, let's go to the other one. The brightest area will usually be the edge. Okay, you can kind of fill it out a little bit in certain spots, kind of fade that in a little, come out here where you think it might, some of that refracted light might happen, but usually on its edges, like so. Right around here you got another one. The sun kind of catches it there. There's a little gap in between all of this, but you all up in here, pop one in here. I'm using pure paint because I want it to dry quickly. All right, you can make it as bright as you want, make it as dull as you want. It's your world. All right, the way you know, the way you want to perceive your rock. All right, okay. All right, let's do a little something for this, make it look real special. Let's get a script liner if I can find one. I'm looking here. I know I got one. I don't want that one. I want my long skinny one. There it is. I just got my hand in a whole bunch of yellow paint trying to get it. Let's put this back. Just slide that over there. Now I just seen it. Let's put this guy back. I don't know if I'll need it, but it can get out of my way so I can get a hold of the script liner there. Okay, let's go. Oh, great, very nice. I just dipped my brush into the green paint. Not good. That's one of the hazards of having so many brushes, and you kind of need them in easy access, but it's just Sometimes it happens. Let's put that back over there, away from the paint. All right, let's go into, we'll put a little water out here. And let's get a little bit of green. So a little line of green. We'll thin the paint a little. We'll pop in a little bit of, we'll throw in some yellow just to brighten it up a little bit. That should be more than enough. I don't necessarily need white to make anything lighter or brighter. I can use yellow in there. Yellow, obviously, it takes a yellow to make green, so we're good. Okay, and we're gonna put some little bits of long grass over there. Okay, now usually I would do stuff like this like toward the end, but we'll pop some in there. Some quick little wisps, not too large. It has to be brighter. It's not bright enough. You got to keep experimenting with it, keep playing with it. You'd be surprised how bright you have to light it up just for it to be seen. Okay, you'd be surprised because the colors are closely related. So you might have to go a little stronger because you can't see what I just did really. Okay, here we go. And it's on the sun, on the side of the sun anyway, so we're good. So we'll pop some cute little things up in there like that. And we'll kind of pop some blades in there. Interesting little groupings. I don't have to really do too many of them. Bring some of that into the dark area there. All right. Some nice long grass in there. Let's move this over so you guys can see. All right. So you pop a few of these gems in there, just like that. Pop them in like so. Go in other directions. And we'll come out here a little bit, put some out here, poking through in that shaded area. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm not gonna do all of the land like this, because for one, you guys aren't gonna see it. I'd have to move the camera around a lot, but we'll come back to it. And once again, we'll pop some of those in there. Some go just straight. Pop some back up here a little bit. Only a few. And obviously they get a little smaller the further you go away from. Okay. Maybe some toward the bottom of the page will kind of come down below where the tape is, and we'll kind of pop some groupings in there, up around in here a little bit. All right. Okay, that should be all right. And you'll see they're kind of hanging out there. All right. Like I say, I can come over here. I'll add a few in here. Just get some water. And as long as I do them now, because I don't really plan on doing too much over here besides the animal, but we can kind of over here in the shaded area, we'll kind of throw in a few in there like this. I'll probably put some more in there when I get done with the animal itself, but it's just light things here. I twist the brush around, put the paint on there, and it takes a little practice. Kind of group some together like that, and pop a few in here. Okay, into that shadow area. All this will help you with a sense of depth. All right. We'll come over here in this corner and we'll pop a few in here like that. Come out here into the shadow areas there. You pop some peeking through. It's all right. Pop a few in there like that. We're gonna go over there by that tree and pop in some tiny ones in there. It's all right. Just kind of get a couple patches in there, here and there. Pop some of those lovelies in there. It's like that sporadically. Pop a few all up in here. Get some in that shadow area there. All right. Okay. Alrighty. I think we're pretty cool with all of that. Like I said, I don't have to go too crazy with it. already done our rocks here. Once again, three different tones of the same color. Okay, you got your base color of black. Then you got your darker gray, your mid gray, and then your highlight grays. They don't have to be excessively super bright, not necessarily. Okay, you can, because I can add even more to that, make them really pop out there, but you know, you see it there. All right, okay. Let me do something with this fella up here, this roof. Roof is pretty cool, but I need something to kind of marry these two together and blend these two together a little bit more, and maybe rough up the roof a little bit more. All right, so we'll go back to our, I'm trying to find the brush I did have. It's in here somewhere. There it is. We'll go back to this guy. All right, so we'll go back into our little bit of black here. We'll just put the black right in here. A little touch of white. Just a little bit of gray real quick here. Make it a little darker. And what I'm gonna do, it is the dark side of the roof. We'll just get some dark gray like this. We'll come up over here. Now, I wanna show you something very, very important to do this, okay? Let's see this little rim here. And you see the direction of that rim? Keep that direction of the rim when you paint on the roof itself. Okay, they make life a lot easier for you. Just like that, kind of marry all that in there. It helps blend what you have. Okay, it breaks up that line a little bit. Just kind of pop it in there like that. The roof is kind of stained, a little damaged. Okay, let's get a little touch of white. Put it in there. We're going to lighten it up just a little bit. And once again, we're going to use just the side of the brush, and we're going to scumble on some stuff in there. That might be still a little dark, but no, not too bad. It's not too bad. Kind of pop it in there like this, just to stain it up a little. Come on up in here, come back here, just kind of rough it up a little bit. I can go in its perspective directional lines, which is this way. And we're just, once again, just roughing things up. Don't make it so neat and pretty. Just kind of ugly it up a little bit. You come in here and this fold in here, we'll play around in here. All right, might go a little darker. We might even just use just black. All right. And we'll kind of play around in here a little bit, just kind of scar it up a little. One, it helps get rid of that perspective line. I'm not gonna get rid of all of it, but just to kind of blur it up a little bit. I might need a little bit more, so I'll dip into the black a little bit. It's almost like, not really trial and error, but you know, just add a little interest, come out this way. You know, once again, I'm just kind of roughing it up a little bit. Really just breaking up that line a little. Okay. Just ugly it up a tad. You don't want to destroy the whole perspective line, but just get rid of some of that, so it doesn't look too angular. Angular. All right, but you know, something like so. All right, okay. I just wanted to rough that up a little bit. That's all. Let us come down here a little. Now, I do like the pattern of the rocks. I like what it's doing. Okay, but I think I can show a little bit more detail in the black part of the rocks. I'm going into my black. We'll put it right here. We'll get some water. Got to work with the tip of the brush on this part. Really detail-y things. I'm just going to come over here and we'll just kind of add some more grout to it in spots like that. Just come on down, add those little edges in there like that, just to have them seen a little bit. Okay, I don't have to do every one. Just a little bit here and there. See? Just like that. Just a little bit. Just to return some of that in there. I don't have to do every single one. Okay. You're not getting rid of your highlighted color, but you're just gonna put a little more detail in those rocks in there. I gotta slide over a little bit and add a little bit more here because some of it's covered. That white that I added in with the glycerin, it does this. It kind of covers up some things. All right. Once again, I don't have to add them all over the place. All right, like that. Oh, we're gonna get a little curve up in there. We'll get some up in here like that. Come on down. You're not getting rid of it, the initial color. And remember, if it seems a little too much, just keep in mind that that this color will fade into what you got here. Some of this is still pretty wet with the glycerin, believe it or not, and it's been hours. It's fairly wet. I don't, once again, have to do every one. I'll probably emphasize it more around the windows. Get a little smaller. Come on in here and play around a little bit. All right, not really too much of it. These are just small little detailing things. Hopefully I'm not too close because I can barely make out and see. We'll play around in here a little bit like that. I'll get my head out of the way. All right. I think we're okay in there. All right. Okay. I think that should be about it for that. Let us move over to, oh, I know what I wanted to do. Let me show you guys this. Let's pull back out and let's do something with the trees back here, the ones in the back. The trees here in the back need to be a little more hidden, a little further back. All right, okay. So what we'll do is I'll take this little soft brush here, this guy. All right, we're gonna go into. I think I'll do it with the water. I don't really want too much glycerin in the painting, only because it's I'll take a little black here, only because I just want to I want it to dry, basically. Now that's obviously a little heavy on the black, but that's okay. I need more paint, a little more paint in the water. Okay. Of course, because you see all this black, you think the trees are going to turn black. They're not going to turn black. It will just be a shadow, a shade to to put them in the back more. And we'll kind of touch it just like so, kind of just like this, and put them in the back. It just kind of silhouettes them more. It's going to highlight your trees a little bit. Just bring it on back there like that. And we'll kind of tap. Where it's light at, we just tap that color. Where it's heavier at, obviously, you make them that. But we're going to tap in our darkness here. You don't have to do every single one. And it's a broad brush, so you can kind of play around. It's like that. Just kinda, and we're just bringing that further back. All right, just gonna darken them there. Don't have to darken every inch of the tree. Okay, but you know, pretty much when you do it like this, all right, you're gonna throw the barn out in the front. Okay, And then you just kind of tap in some color a little bit here and there. Like I said, you don't have to necessarily go all the way to the top with it. All right. Okay. And then, you know, like I say, see, it kind of brings the trees back. It brings this guy up front more. That fellow right there. We're going to lighten him up. We're going to add a little more brightness to him. All right. We'll just take a liner brush, and we'll go right here in this light green. We're gonna add a little more white to that light green. We're gonna brighten it up a little bit, and we can add tiny little sweet little pine needles to that tree, just using this brighter color. And it's just to highlight it and throw it out in front of those trees in the background back there. So I'll take this cute little tiny brush, and we'll just add a little cute little nondescript little marks in there. All right, and we'll kind of pop in a few. And it's just me wisping some. It's right on the edges there. Okay, we come down across. This paint's a little thicker. And kind of make them look like little pine needles there. Bring some out here a little bit, come down, trail some, have some come downward. Very few. And once again, it's just to bring this tree out a little more. Once again, this paint is a little thicker, so delicate little taps. Come on down around and put them in little groupings, little batches in there. All right, and just keep moving with it. It's usually you're kind of skirting around the edge of the tree doing all of this. Just a little bit. All right, and we're just highlighting just the little tips of the trees. Just like so. All right, you can kind of sneak in a couple back here a little bit. All right, something like that. Let's get a little bit of I'll take some of this green white. We'll just dip it into black real quick. All right, we'll gray it out just a little bit. All right, and we'll kind of return some of that. Gotta make it a little bit brighter. It's not bright enough. And we'll turn some of that some of the trunk of the tree a little bit there. So it just brings some of that back. And as you can see now, you see the direction the sun is directly hitting against the tree. The tree is separated from the guys in the back. The guys in the back really didn't lose any detail. They're just darker. That's it. All right, small little detail things, that's all. That's all. Hey, I got me a Soviet troll. I'm proud. I've been inducted in a group. Hooray. Thank you, Sonia, for putting the troll in its natural place. Okay. All right. So we look at it. Oh, let me show you something, because a lot of you were actually here when I did the barn. Okay. All right. As you can see, well, I see something I need to get rid of. I'll just use my finger. Hold on for a second. We'll just darken that little area up. I don't like that little patch right there, so we'll just darken that up and come around here. I don't like that little light blue thing going on there. That light blue patch is doing something a little special. Okay. As we added colors, and now that they're drying, you see the brown is in there, but obviously it's not as bright as that brown, but everything kind of matches. It fits in there. Okay, and you still see the yellow and stuff going on back there, but it's obviously not as bright as these guys back here. Same down here. You still got the glow, but it's subdued because of the black wash we put over that. Okay. All right. I just wanted to point that out to you. Okay. You got a bright and a darkened side of the barn. It still looks natural. Okay. And it's just really remember what I said about red. If you want it darker, just add black, or you can even add green. It's the color opposite. All right. You just don't go 50-50 with that type of mix. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll just, because we're not going to add anything else in here. You guys said no, the rocks were fine. So I guess we'll just go to the beastie. We'll concentrate on the beastie. As much as I love drawing giant prehistoric things, I don't do them very much because of the amount of detail that would go into it. You know, it all depends. You know, you got scales and wrinkles and all that stuff. But I do want to show you something while I'm on the subject of an animal. Okay. You have to... Oh, did I get another one? Or is that the same one? No, it must be the same one. All right. We'll, let me do something here real quick. Because sometimes my chat, it creates its own timeline. It will print things when it wants to. Okay. The animal. When you paint a subject like this, animal, human being, or whatever, you have to see them in shapes, certain shapes. Okay. Like let's concentrate on the beastie's legs right now. Okay. If you look at the front leg here, all right, his right leg here, you got to think of it as a tube, like this. Now you know that tube folds. Let's say the elbow's right here, so it's pretty much a straight line. All right, and then it curves going the other way, like that. We'll do right here, right here, right there. So if you put a line in the middle, you see where the direction's going with him. So I think that makes it a little more, you can understand it a little bit more. We'll do the far left one here, okay? Because every one of these guys have, every digit has like an axis point, an axis, all right, a center. Right here, the center would be here. And then it goes out that way, like that. So it looks like a wire frame mesh thing going on with him. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, now here's the center line, because this leg is more or less in front of us, like that. And it's just a series of curves. Of course, you're not going to see a lot of it if it's covered by his stomach. And remember, there's a little axis point, because the leg goes in another direction, and it changes. It goes downward. Okay, like that. All right. So whenever there's an axis point, a straight line, the curve goes in the other direction. So hopefully what I'm doing kind of shows you what I'm talking about. His tail, the axis would be in the center, right in the middle, but it kind of goes underneath. All right, but it's the same kind of curve. All right. And it curves a little bit more. All right, it kind of stops there because it flips around and goes to the other side, but I think you guys kind of get what I'm talking about here. And these are just with the appendages that are sticking out there. Okay, he's got one in the back there, but that's going to be mostly shaded in. All right, so that's basically how you would see it. Okay, his body, well, the center axis line for his body is actually straight on the brim and ridge of his nose, right here by his head, and it comes, the axis line, his center point would be here. So that means right from the point of one of his little nodules here, they would kind of come down and curve, going this way. Because now you got a center line, which is actually up here. So everything curves going in that direction, like that. All right, so when I do stuff like that, you know kind of where the shape of the bumps and all of that is going. Okay, there's nothing really flat on this creature. It's all rounded. Okay, the way this is designed, his mouth right here, it's almost shaped like a parrot's beak. Okay, actually it's way up here. It goes down. It's not really that there. So it looks like that. Okay, his nose is somewhere around in here. Obviously, you see where his eye is. That's the starting of the frill of his little the bony plate back there. Okay, all right. He's at a weird angle. Okay, his center axis line is actually underneath him. It would be right here, right here, right here. But it curves right underneath his stomach. All right, so his back is right in here, and so it would kind of curve around like that and curve. Center access point would be somewhere around here, and it would start curving the other way. It'll curve around like that. Okay. The more you would do it, the more you would see it, and the more comfortable you would be doing the animals. Okay. Follow me? All right. It's the same one? All right. Thank you. So, basically, that's how it would look. The horns, the center axis, will be once again in front of us. It'll be right here. Okay. Center axis is right in the middle. And once again, you just take it and see how this goes. I'll just do it like this. The smaller it gets, the more curved it gets. All right, it kind of curves like a little loop. Same thing with this guy. Now, you kind of see it here. Look, right here. And so you're gonna go the other way, like that. So you're doing circular. It's like the wide letter N. Here is like the letter U, upside down U. All right, but here's the other direction. All right, just like that. Now it looks like a wireframe. Okay, but that's basically how you would do it. It might look a little confusing to some of you. All right, but not really, because you kind of see where the digits are. You see the appendages. Here's his body. Everything is rounded. You got to think in rounded shapes. They're all a series of tubes. Okay, and that's basically how you would go about doing something like this. All right. Okay. Now I did make mention of I think I called it DINO-COW or something like that. And we're going to paint it as such. We're going to paint this guy like a black and white milk cow. But it just got 3 foot long horns on above his eyeballs. All right. Okay. It's coffee break time. We're going to clean up a little bit of this because we don't necessarily need it. You know, you guys are free to ask me questions or anything because, you know, boy, you guys with me, y'all, some of y'all are the non-talkingest people. It's hilarious because y'all talk y'all butts off with Bruce. Y'all just a bunch of chatterboxes. When you come to my page, you guys are a bunch of crickets and frogs. That's all you hear, like them cartoons, crickets and frogs. All right. But you know, if you guys are really intently watching and everything and listening to me babble, it's all good, you know. Okay. Let's tackle this guy. What I'm gonna do with this fella, We'll do his beak first. I'm gonna use smaller brushes. I don't know if I want to use much glycerin on this guy. Now, keep in mind that he is silhouetted in black. Let me do something with his little beak thing. I don't know what color I'll keep the beak, but I'll start it off in some version of gray right now, and then if I gotta add a color to it, I'll add it later. But I'll put a light gray on here for his beak, and if I want to keep it gray, then I'll just play with it with the gray, but we'll still start to block it in. And usually these creatures or any subject like this will tend to grow on you, meaning that you might end up going a little bit outside of the line. Try not to do it, but it usually happens. Is you do it the best you can. It depends on how steady your hand is. All right, but this is not. I'm not going to paint him like a little Hanna-Barbera cartoon or anything. He, like I say, he's got little knobs and scales and all sorts of stuff. I think this is why I kind of shy myself away from painting these guys, even though this is more of my niche and I love doing them, but obviously it's not a great big demand for a dinosaur in the middle of a farm painting, so I don't do too many of them, because it just wouldn't benefit me to do a bunch of creature paintings and no one will buy them, so I just don't do them. Alright, now here's the funny thing. When I get done with this, knowing that probably nobody will buy it, in my mind nobody will buy this thing, somebody asks me about it. Watch, just watch. It's the life of Riley. Okay, so we just blocked in his little beaky thing there. Okay, alright, we're going to I'm probably going to block him in a grayish blue. The reason why is because when I start adding the black and white to him, we need our shading and our highlights and stuff to be in different versions of kind of gray color, so we can catch the shading of the body parts. And then after that, we'll do certain highlights in white to give the impression that it does have white-ish skin, and then we'll put the black blotches on it. All right, okay. So as I'm looking, I'm thinking about things as I'm looking at it. Let's give him a pedicure. A little more white there. So I'll contaminate the white with this gray. I'm using more paint than anything because I want this stuff to dry once it's in there. All right. Okay, and I'm gonna do his little dino nails first. All of this is kind of important, so when I start blocking in color, I know where little digits are. I know where his feet's orientated at. So all of this, it comes into play. So once again, we'll give him or her, could be a her. We'll just give it a nice little pedicure there. I'll get a little bit of water because I can feel the paint starting to cake up here. It's thick paint, but when you spread it out thin, the air gets to it and it starts to evaporate. Putting a little water in it just reactivates the paint. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, pop another one right up in here. Let's bring this one down a little bit more, because you got to get it a nice rounded look to him. He looks kind of funny, I know, because all you see really is just the black, and then you see fingernails or foot nails, so it looks a little odd. Hey Shane, welcome back. I know it's extremely late where you are. But I'm going to finish this painting off because I'm sick of it being on my board, quite frankly. It's time for a change. All right, so there we go. So we got his little nail things happening there. Okay. Actually, let's do something else while I'm thinking about it. We'll still use this same small brush. And the little bony crests up there, we're going to get those blocked in. Might as well. Right in here. So a nice brush with a nice sharp edge, kind of beneficial. And we'll pop these in here right now. This is what I can say, doing little creatures like this. Even if I painted it larger, still there are these little bony. There's a lot of details in doing these dinos and lizards and stuff. It's because of the scales and the number of them. Okay. And yeah, you know, you're working with a smaller brush, and plus you're working on a canvas that got tooth to it. So unless you work on a very smooth canvas, this can be a little crazy because you're fighting against the grain of the board when you're doing this. Okay. All right, something like that. Okay. Now, I'll use a slightly larger brush just for the horns. It's not too much bigger, but it's bigger than the one I just had. All right, I'll just add a little more white to it. I'll eke in a little bit of black in there if I can get some. Darken it up a little bit there. Now, in the scheme of things, this dinosaur is, it's all right for the size that it's in, but it's still relatively small. I would have to really put a big one in here to really get those real details. Because like I said, I really don't want to spend 90 days on this guy. But we will shade in his little horns and everything as we go through with this. It won't take me really as long as you would think. I'm kind of, even though I don't do these often, this is kind of what I got into when I was a kid, and I drew them a whole lot. So it's kind of like old home week when I do stuff like this. All right, so we'll pop it in here just like that. All right, and we'll get to the other one here. And I'm using a lot of just paint. If I have to use water, it's just to thin the paint. It is fairly thick. But I'm working with a very tiny brush, so I can load the paint on here. It's not going to really go too far. Okay. I'll extend his horn a little bit like that. Yes, I can still do alterations in this part. I can curve his horn there and give him a little more horn there. Once again, I can kind of tell when it's a little I'll stop it around. Well, no, I'll continue the curve right here. Just like that. Block this horn in. That's all I'm doing is blocking in the horn. Okay. Like so. All right. Much like that. Okie dokie then. We got one more horn. The horn on the front. His little rhino horn. His little nose horn. Right in here. Just like so. Once again, just blocking in the shapes that I know that needs to be blocked in. All right. All right. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. here also. And she is 13 hours ahead, because it's 10 in the morning there. 10 in the morning tomorrow for us. All right. So she's there in the morning, or it's in the morning for her. Okay. All right. We're going to get a larger brush. And we're going to work on, I'll work on his underbelly. We're going to work thinking here. We'll work creative liberty. Let's just put this in here like that. So we have that whole part be part of the horn. So we'll work here downward, not really his legs, but his body and the tail. We'll leave the legs alone. So we'll do this all in we'll do it all in sections for this fella. Once again, I'm still blocking him in, but now when I block the body in, I'm gonna concentrate on more or less the get a little bit more black, a little more white. There, we'll mix it in real good here. Okay. And now we're gonna go into our blue, because blue is such a forgiving, or gray is such a forgiving color. We add that blue right into the gray. But you see it start to turn that little tinge of blue there. And I'm doing that on purpose. This is what I want. So we got a little blue-gray happening there. Okay, just like that. All right. We'll start blocking him in with this color. I got a strong feeling that I would be either going over it twice or watering it down a little bit. Now I could also use a different brush. I don't necessarily have to use a flat brush and whatnot to do this. I can use a round brush and do this. Now I know what his roundness and his shape is going to be, so I'm not really worried about painting over that. I did that more for you. Well, not really for Shane. Shane paints beautiful creatures and people folk. I seen your work in the for older artists site, which is very nice. A lot of extremely talented people on that site. Really nice. Now I know people who, you know, especially from my era, they see dinosaurs being painted or drawn or whatever, and they got that ugly drab color, which wouldn't even make any sense for them to be that drab and gray, especially if you see in the natural world that, especially the male animals, birds and whatnot, they're the ones with a very familiar color. Oh, that's Michael. Now the paint's getting a little dried up now, which is cool. I kind of expect that to happen. It's all right. Okay. I'm not going to bother his legs. We're going to go carefully around the horn frill here. Now, if you do something like this, okay, and you're a little nervous about it, I'm going right around his leg here, because we'll tackle the legs later. I'll do it, like I said, in sections. If you're a little nervous about using a brush of this size doing something like this, which is a little more detailed, you can use a smaller brush if you feel comfortable using a smaller brush. Okay, really up to you. But once again, I'm just going around his body, and we'll do the shading or whatever accordingly with it. All right. Like I say, sometimes these guys have a tendency to grow on you if you go a little bit outside the lines or whatnot. It's not the end of the world if you do. Okay, but as you can see, I'm starting to fill this fella out here. It doesn't really take too long. All right, we'll do his tail. I see that I can't really get into the really thin areas of his tail, but that's okay. It's all right. I can use a smaller, okay, Jessica, enjoy your nap. All right, as we block this fella in a bit. Now, his tail curls a bit. I know it's a really small detail. Not too many people will notice, but you'd be surprised who pay attention to stuff like that. But he does got a little, it's too big for this brush. I'll use a smaller one for it. Just clean off the brush real good. I'll use the rigger brush for it. A little bit of water. Put it in there. I gotta darken that little spot there. So I'll just get a little touch of black. And just darken it just a little bit. Now, a lot of people really won't notice it, but it's right in here. A little bit of darkness right there for his tail, right in there. It's a little darker right there underneath. Just right in there. Put it in there like that. All right. Okay. So he's got this blue-gray thing happening there. All right. Okay. Now I can start to kind of shade this dude a little more. All right. But actually what I'll do, I'll go in reverse. I'll use I'll use a smaller brush, and we'll kind of scumble in some patterns of extremely light gray, almost toward the white area. So I'm gonna get some white, put it into this really light gray, kind of contaminate it with a little bit of that gray in there, just like that, very light. And I'll start scumbling in some spots on him. When I say spots, I mean just the spots of light gray. And we'll start to kind of blend and shade him in a little bit. Obviously the light's coming here from this side, okay? And I'll just kind of work that in there, in here, like so. So just find where all that bulky stuff is on him, where it would kind of be. Keep it pretty much bright where you figure it would be bright. I'm gonna just wipe off the brush. I got a short window of this stuff being kind of pliable, kind of moving around there, and then I'll just kind of scumble it all in there like this. Make it kind of blend and disappear a little bit. Okay, go as close as you can to. Now all up under here is a little darker. I don't know what's going on with this server thing. There. Okay. But something like that. All right, we're gonna play around with it a little bit more. Let's go towards where his tail is. We're gonna do the tail. Tail obviously brighter. It's aimed a little more at the sunlight there. But it's still gonna be curved. We're still gonna add a little bit of dimension to it, to his tail there. Oh, something like that. Let's get some of that other gray. We'll go down underneath here. It's a little darker, right up under here. And we'll marry those two together. Just like that, go a little bit lighter. Keep playing with it there. here underneath his tail. Make it a little smooth there. Okay. He won't look this smooth because once again you gotta put little bumps and stuff all on this guy. All right. Okay, let's start. And plus, on this side of him, it's going to be pretty dark because the sun is not really hitting over here. Okay, so he's a little darker there. All right, we'll use a slightly larger brush. We'll use, you know what? I can use this guy. This is kind of a new one that I bought. We'll use this. We'll go back into our black a little bit. We'll come in here and we'll go into a little bit of blue, put the blue in there, get some of that white. We're going to add a little more black to it. Okay, so we'll scumble some of this darkness there on him. Well, we'll go underneath because it's fairly deep under here. We'll just kind of really get him a little darker underneath where his body is there. And what I'll do as I block in his initial side of his head here, okay, I'll kind of tap very lightly, just kind of tap all of that. It kind of blends in the other colors there. We're going to go a little deeper in color underneath his frill. Okay. And we'll marry some of that right up in here. Very gentle, like that. All right. Now it's going to be weird to see the shadow because, you know, obviously the base color is black, but we got to add his shadow in there. Oh, we'll use this, and we'll go with a little blue. We'll put it right here, and we'll go with a little slight touch of black. Wipe some of that black off. We'll put it right in here. A little more black in there. All right, something like that. Okay. Right underneath that frill, we're gonna add a nice little shadow. We'll add the shadow right here. And we're actually just copying the horn pattern there. And we're gonna come here, we're gonna do it again. We got that little horn pattern shadow and a little frill here. And we'll come up around. Add that little horn right up in here. And just add all that shadow all up under here. Okay. Now you can easily find where his shadow line is because this is not true black. It's a blue black, and you can see the difference. Okay. Right here, little bit of his. If the depth of his horn is going to create quite a shadow there. Now, as I do that, I can smooth this out a little bit. While it's still somewhat wet, it will just kind of cause a little fade in here. Just like this. Or half into your color, half into the board itself. And while it's wet, you can kind of soften some of those. So it's not as hard. So he's got a little bit of a shadow under there. All right, okay. Let's get a little water, a little bit of this paint under here. And we're gonna go in reverse underneath here. He's pretty dark underneath where that front leg is here. And rounded, very rounded under there. He's got a shadow there. And once again, kind of fade that a little bit, because you are definitely underneath the creature here, and you're really thinking about roundness underneath all of that. We'll go a little line under here like this, all up under here, a little bit of a line there. Okay. And I'll get a little bit of water. I'll rinse off my brush real quick. I'll take some of that darkness and we'll kind of fade it upward a little bit. It doesn't have to go all the way. Okay. And you keep looking at your work. Keep looking at it. Make sure you got what you want and it looks, you know, somewhat rounded. All right. We're going to take a little hair of that color up under here. Just a little bit right up under here like that. I'll take some water and we'll kind of bring it up here a little bit, but still keep that roundness. Still got to be rounded. All right. You know, stuff like that. All right. Okay. We're going to go by his tail, directly underneath his tail. Here is pretty dark. I can separate this like that. Because it's the underside of his tail is turned around on us here. Just like that. But under here, just on here on the far side, right in here, he's got some, it's a little dark there. All up in here. Get a little bit of water. Now, if you feel you messed up or it doesn't look right to you, you can always correct it. But we're gonna just kind of shade. I'm wiping off the brush a little bit and we can blend that a little bit in there. Okay. But you start to see what it's starting to look like here. Once again, you got to think of where the sunlight's going to hit this guy. All right. Okay. Alrighty. Let's do something really quick and cute here. I got an extremely tiny brush here somewhere. I do have one. I hope I can find it. If I can't find it, I'll just use the script line. I'll just use the script line. I can't find it. But I got oh, nope, that's not it. Never mind. I got excited for a second. Okay, we're going to this blue black here. Get some water. Now for this part, I have to use the tip of the brush here. And we'll start adding these cute little wrinkles and little nodules in here, especially up under here. All right, now this is, remember how I did the lines before? Okay, like let's say under here, we'll kind of add a little, these little wrinkle things here. And you're really just, look at this, look, watch. I'll kind of add them in here. All that, like that. You can make little circular things for little bumps and scales or whatever. And this is just the shadow, it's on the shadow side of the creature. Okay, all up around here, you can kind of, you'd be surprised how much water you need to loosen up the paint. Once again, I'm kind of fighting with the texture, but it's okay. Put little circles in there and kind of continue with the in here like this. Wild little squiggly things, but you're still keeping with the form of the dino. Like so. Some of them can be really, really detailed and got lines all over the place. Some of it not so much. It really depends on you and how you want to perceive this guy. See, I put the little circles to kind of denote that, you know, he's got little scales and things happening in here. Okay. All up in here a little bit, like that. Oh, up in here a little pop some more little circle things in there. All right. Now up around here, around his little digits area, you got these little wrinkles, folds of skin in there. So you're really just kind of showing where the curves and the wrinkles are, where his joints are connected, how they are supposed to move. And that's really what you're doing here. All right, once again, now you see why I don't do too many of these creatures. You can get extremely detailed, really go into depth with these fellas. Okay, it's like a parrot beak. So we're gonna kind of keep some, well here, let's kind of outline this part where that flap of skin in there. And we're gonna go here with his little beak part. You know how a parrot beak is. Put the little striations in there and they kind of come down. It's like keratin or our fingernails. Like that. I didn't really put it in there. Keep with the shape of this guy's little parrot beak. Needs more water. I can feel my paint getting tacky even with this very thin brush. And I have to hold the brush pretty much upright. Oh, that's too thick. Wipe that off. Too thick. Too watery. I'll pull some of that out. It's kind of a little dance you have to do with this. Still too thick, too watery. I can just wipe it off, no big deal. There we go. Now it's starting to come. Much like that. All right. Go live on Wednesday? All right. It's Mega Moo. Rhinoceros. Yeah, they do compare it to a rhino. That they do, Jessica. We kind of compare them to what animals that are around now. That's true, they do compare them. Up around here, we kind of pop in some little things in here, but continue with the curve a little bit. Not as much in here. Like I said, this is going to be patterned left black and white, so but you'll see how I'll do this. You'll see. And basically I'm just really outlining the shape of this creature using these little scales and things. And you bring the curve around a little bit. See this? Remember what I was doing with the grid? And that's basically what I'm doing. It's still the grid pattern, but I'm just making little scales and stuff out of them. And once again, it helps with the roundness of the creature as I'm doing it. Okay, but I'm not going to keep it this drabby kind of color. I can actually start to do it now a little bit. So we'll just get some white. And I'll just kind of tap in some really bright patches in here. And I'll kind of pop them in here and there like this. Up in here. Get them pretty bright. Just little patches in there. Get some of that brightness in there. Just a little titanium white. And we'll come out here, kind of add some patches in here. All up in here. Like that. It's going to be kind of comedic to look at this thing when it's finished. You can kind of take your liberties with it a little bit, you know. I'm going into my blue. I'm going to contaminate the white with a little bit of blue because it is the shadow area. I'm going to get a little bit of white. All right. Contaminate it there. A little bit of blue. Maybe a touch of black in there. That turned it much gray, but that's all right. That should be okay. All right, we'll come up around in here. We'll just add cute little patches in here like this. And we'll add a couple in here. Up around in here. Okay. I'm going to take that, it's still relatively wet, take a little bit of water, and we'll kind of blend those edges a little bit. See, kind of a little melt around a little. If I need to bring the little modules, the nodules back, a little dinosaurs, we'll do that too. The dino scales there, we'll pop them back in there. But just for right now, we'll just kind of pop those little fadey little patches in there like that, just for right now. We'll go into a little bit of black. And we'll kind of pop those little patterns like a cow in there and curve them a little bit. We'll kind of do a couple of patches in there like this. We'll kind of, I won't fade the black in there, and I'll keep the black pretty sharp. Just like that. Go back into our black, get a little bit of black in there. We kind of come in here, curve it, pop it down here a little bit. Little cow patches there. Now, even though I'm going in crazy shapes, I'm still keeping that roundness to him or her, whatever you want. Her, him, it. All right. Let's go over here to his belly. Right over here to the belly, we'll kind of put the little cow pattern in there like this. So it'll look like a DINO-COW. It's like that. I wonder if the farmer named it Betsy. Who knows? He's starting to look kind of cow-like now. I don't know why. I just giggle when I see it. We don't know what color they were, but we did know they had bumpy skin. But they weren't reptiles. It was weird. They're in between. It's weird. Pretty fascinating. They don't think they were endothermic, which means they don't think that their bodies were regulated by the temperature around them. They were probably more mammal-like, like birds. And if that's the case, that means that they were a lot faster than people would think. They were quick moving. Okay, let's take this thin brush. We're going to add a little bit of yellow to the white. Okay. And we're going to, I don't see it here, so we're going to, oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a little touch of black in there. Let's get some more yellow. All right, something like that. All right, the horn. There's a part of the horn I messed up on. I'm gonna correct it in a second. As long as it's still a little wet, I should be able to get rid of that. I want it a little heavy-handed. As long as I got a little bit of water and it's still wet, I can just wear it away right in here. Just get rid of that. See, it comes off. Dry off the brush and just wipe it away. Get rid of that part right in there. Smooth that right back out. See that? See how you can smooth that horn back out again? That was me going a little heavy-handed. That was my fault. But as long as you can catch it in time, you're able to correct it. Now you would figure that his horn would be a little bit brighter, and I'll work on that. I just didn't want it gray. Even though it's got this weird yellow, funky color to it, but you'll see in a second. All right, we'll get a little touch of, we'll play around this black right here. We're gonna go right below, right here, right below, right in here. And as I'm doing it, right in here. I know it looks a little crazy, but I'll fade that. Dry the brush off. Okay, and once again, we'll just kind of rub that color in there. And you'll see you see the edge get softer. Look at that. And you just follow the path of the horn itself. See how soft that gets? Okay. You do white in the same way. Do white the very same way. Obviously the sun is coming from this edge, right in here. I'm using the edge of the brush to do it. Just like that, right? And kind of fade it. Go in the direction of the horn. Okay. But you see how it's starting to look there? As long as you give the direction of where's the dark, where's the light, but you fade the outside or inside edge depending on your point of view, but you fade that edge. All right, it just melts right in. All right. Okay, where am I at here? Clean the brush. Let's get a little bit of that dark color there. Not enough of it. A little bit more. Once again, you can kind of get away with it. You got a little window of dark. A little window where it's kind of wet. Well, you kind of put it in there. Actually, we're gonna give a nice little, because it's the shadow of the horn, so we'll give it a little bit of a curve in there. Okay, get a little bit of water. All right, and go back to where you were. It kind of, see, you can kind of manipulate and move it around a little bit while it's wet. Like that. I'm just wiping the paint off on my towel here. Smooth it out a little. All right. Take some white. It'll just blend in. Right here on this edge there. Pop that white in there. Right up in there. Right? Wipe the brush off and you start blending it in. Don't be scared. Mix it. Blend it right in there. It's like that. the colors will blend into each other. Get away with it when it's wet. Like that. Here. I'm gonna go to the other horn because the paint's dried a little bit, so it's not as bright, and we just kind of wake that up a little bit there. Now you see why I don't do little other creatures. It does take a little while. Okay. See, you can always brighten. You can always brighten it up again. And you need a little brighter, especially if you're in front of a building like this. So even if it's just a little tap. Okay. Put it right in there. Go in reverse. We'll do the white first. Just like that. So you start large and you work smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, I can just quickly blend that in there. But there's his little front horn in there. All right. Melt it in there a little bit. Okay, now we got his horns in there. We got his little cowhide thing happening in here, which is cool. All right, let's start filling out this guy's legs. Let's go back to a flat brush. We'll put this right here. I can easily find them. We'll go with this brush. Okay, this is dry, so that's useless. Go into a little bit of white, a little touch of black in there, mix it. All right, we'll make it a little bit brighter. Just mix it in there. Pop some blue in there, just like that. And we're going to do essentially the very same thing with the leg. All right. Alrighty then. Pop that leg in there, right in here. We're going to do our shading and all that after we block it in. Get a little bit of water, kind of loosen up this paint just a little bit, and pop it right in there. Somebody must have said a joke. I didn't get to see it. No, I don't know what was said. Sonya's been pretty quiet, so she didn't have to go to the corner today. All that junk I was talking yesterday, I should have been buried under the corner. But then again, you know, she's the one with that special watercolor paper. She had that watercolor paper you had to sign a consent form for. Now, as you see me doing this with a dinosaur, you can do this with a deer, you can do this with a puppy, all right, a parrot, doesn't matter. Once again, this is gray with a little bit of blue in it there. You handle each section at a time. Okay. Okay, well, get a little bit more water. I think we got one leg to do there. Right up around in here. Remember, think in terms of a tube when you do these. Like I say, just because you see me doing a dinosaur, it doesn't necessarily mean this is the only method you use for it. No, you can use this method for its for any animal or human being for that matter. This is a technique, okay? The subject matter really doesn't matter. Okay, this is just a technique. All right. Let's see if I can eke some darker color here real quick for that rear leg that you barely see back there, which is like right here. It's right back here, and you really won't see it too well back there. It's the other leg there. Okay. Okay. I can still use it. Need some more white. The rest of the white kind of went bye-bye. We'll play around with it right here with this gray right in here like this. And we're just really contaminating the gray. No glycerin, it's just, you know. All right, sunlight's right around in here. And so we're going to, right up in here. And we're going to maintain this roundness. And we will. You'll see in a second. All right, wipe off that brush really good. And then you just kind of go around here on the edge and you we're basically just softening the shadow or softening the highlight there. And we're gonna obviously it's gonna be a little darker under there, and we're gonna get it there right now. A little touch of black. We'll go into this color here. We'll kind of mix it in there like that. Okay, same premise, but on the other side. Right here, right underneath its edge here. Very quick, just like so. Clean off the brush. And once again, that little blend thing, come on with it, back and forth, just like that. You can expand it if you want, up to you. Little touch of white, not really too bright because we're going to put the patches in there, but just like that, and kind of fade it in there right here where you think the highlights are going to hit on this guy. Okay, all right, let's take a smaller brush again, and we're going to add our little cow markings. All right, just jet black here. And once again, we'll come under here. We'll add a little moo cow marks right in here like this. Come around, come up under here. Okay, something like that. Have one patch and curve. Curve around here, and when you curve it like that, you just, once again, you're just giving it shape. Okay, like that. All right. Hey Bree, how are you? Oh no, there's no I did not purchase this from Cinemax. You're good. You're good. All right. This is the Sesame Street of art channels. So you're all right. You're okay. And we're gonna pop in some of that brightness in here. And we'll kind of pop in a little bit in here. See, Sonia, you traumatized folk. Once again, I'm just reiterating some of those sharp points there. And if I go a little far, I can always bring it back. I can always get rid of it, make it disappear, bring it back. I'm just wiping the brush off, getting rid of the extra paint. Just scratch it, yeah, just rub it right off. Keep the smoothness of that horn. All right, and that's all I'm doing there. All right, okay. Now, let's take some of this white, and we're going to highlight. Little bones there on its crest. All right. Take a little bit of water, and we're gonna kind of drag that down, almost like you were doing, you were painting a dewdrop. You destroy the bottom edge there, and that's all I'm doing is dragging that white down using the water on the brush, and we're just smoothing all of that out a little bit. All right, don't necessarily have to do the last one. All right, let's work on this fella here. Just work on each digit. Okay. Let me show you something. Here's another way to do it too. I'll take some water. We'll do the front leg. We'll just kind of add the water in there like that. All right. It'll sit on there for a little while. Let's take some of the dark color. We'll do the dark side first. We'll come here and we'll kind of add that dark in there like this. And just fade it in there like this. Pop it in pretty dark in here. One is on the shadow side, so we're good. All right, it's still wet. All right. We'll get some white, and we'll kind of right in there and put a little bit of edge in there like that, right? Still, like I say, still wet. Go in between them both. In between them both. You see how it look at the fading. You see how it starts to fade there? Smooth it out. You can do all sorts of clever little things with this, and you can just build up on this. All right. I can take that and we'll just kind of tap and smooth it so it gets rid of the lines. See that? And you just kind of brush it. But look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? How you can get that going like that. And once again, you just keep building on it. Okay. And you take your little black, pop it in there, little areas, like say you want it more toward the front, all up in here in shadow there. Okay. And you take your little softy brush and you kind of tap it in there. You're tapping the transition. Okay. Like that. Okay. Really simple. If you wanted to do it that way, there's a few ways to do it. Okay. So you pick, what's good for you to do it. Under here, right in the back part of his leg, right in here, we'll kind of make that kind of dark there. Okay. Yeah, we'll darken up that back leg back there. We'll keep that one fairly fairly dark. We'll just make it black back there. I'm just getting rid of excess water, and we'll kind of blend that out into the gray. You control your brush strokes. A little touch of white, but we'll put the white on this edge right in here like that. I'll just wipe the brush off real quick. It's still wet, and you just kind of blend it. Bring some of that darkness in there further and further. But look at that instant roundness, instant shape. Okay, all right. Cow patterns. There's little cow patterns. You know, when I post this, you'd be surprised to know, because of the pattern, they're not going to look at the horns, they're going to look at the pattern. And they're going to think it's some kind of funky cow. Until they really look at it. And then they're going to say, you're out of your mind, you're an idiot. Somebody's gonna text me, is that a Highland cow? I'm gonna just say yeah. You'd be surprised, really. Is it a Highland cow? There's still roundness to the creature. Okay, you still see all that happening and going on. I'm going to take a little bit of blue. A little touch of white in there. We're going to kind of play around with some of that there. So we're just still playing around with the shading a little bit. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We'll use this brush. We're going to our white here. We're going to go into our blue. This is for his the frill there. Why am I doing blue? Well, his frill, her frill, its frill, little bit like a showpiece here. And so I will put the base color a little bit on the brighter side. Kind of an attention getter for it. Tinier brush, paint's a little thin, gotta move it a little quickly. But again, it's a tinier brush. It's 11 o'clock. Cause my buddy's on. And I usually watch him. But you know, it's kind of hard to kind of navigate a lot of times in between the times of other artists and stuff when you got your own thing going. It's a little tough. But you know, just got to get this done. Like I said, I'm getting tired of looking at this thing on my board here. It was time to get it done. It should have been done yesterday, but I had things going on. It just couldn't happen that way, so it's okay. Just work on it another day. And it just happens that today's that day. This evening. Now, obviously the whole crest, the creature's whole crest isn't that dark or this light over on this edge. And so obviously we're going to darken that up a little bit. Take a little bit of black. I didn't clean off my brush, won't need to. Okay, up around in here, we're going to darken that up a little bit. I don't have to have it totally black. One, it really won't make no sense to, but we are going to give it a nice little curve. Wipe off my brush and lightly just kind of curve that, blend that. He must be having some trouble logging on today. He did that twice. All right. Now, dead white. Not all over the place like you would think, but I will start to round it off, and I'm gonna fade it from here. Okay. You take a little bit of water on your brush. Straighten up the white again on that edge, right up in here. And once again, just kind of blend that in. You do this as often as you need to get the brightness you're looking for. Back and forth. You could use another brush. You don't have to use this small, tiny brush to do what I'm doing. You can use another brush. Okay. All right. We're gonna go back to our blue. A little bit of white in there. We're gonna start blocking in. start blocking this in. And right now I'm just blocking in the color. Up around his eye, the horn, the outside, the frill here. Once again, I'm just blocking it all in right now. When you add water to it, it thins it out, but it's okay. You can always go back and add more of that color to it. Right here, where his, right, all up in here. Block it right up in here. It's mostly bone up here in here, so, but we'll kind of have our fun with it and color it in. I'm not looking for a perfect blended color. Okay. All right. I got a little Mr. Softy brush here. We'll kind of tap and soften all of that while it's still somewhat wet. Smooth it out. I know it's weird to see this little Softy brush do all that blending, but it does. It's nothing but a makeup brush. But then again, this is a brush really for you ladies, so I think you guys could see that it obviously it blends your makeup to your face, so why wouldn't not blend paint to a canvas, right? All right. We're gonna come out here. And if I don't really want stroke marks, you can just tap, you just tap it in there. You know, if you're not looking for any type of, once again, any type of stroke marks. Let's take the blue for a second. Yeah, let me get some little patterns in there. More of the blue. Build some depth in the back of the horn there. Or, yeah, in the back of the flesh that's covering where the horn is, right up in here. And curve it around in there. Let's get rid of that. That's a little too thick. Make that disappear a little bit. Get that out of there. just little patterns there. Alrighty, you're back home. All right, made it home safe. I'm going to take a little bit of, I'll take a little rim of white. Right here on the bridge of his nose, once again, we'll strengthen some of these little real lights, so the sun would be right up in here. Once again, you keep adding the bright white to it, it just gets brighter and brighter. I had another friend. Awesome. What show am I? Hey, Adam, what's going on? I think it's like Ancient Aliens or something like that it's on. It's all background noise. How you been, Adam? Adam's a graphic designer. Knowed him many moons. Adam and I were doing a lot of small press comics back in the day, many moons ago. I don't know if Adam's still doing them. I get asked to do a few covers and whatnot, and I do a few of those, but I'm not really into that anymore. But I still check out some of the sites every once in a while, and I'll speak to some of the artists there. So, okay, let's get a liner brush there. Haha, Small Press Syndicate, that's right. That is right. We'll put it in Nostril, right up in there somewhere, obviously. Let's go with a little bit of deep gray here. We'll put in the pop that in there like that. Okay. We're gonna go with a little bit of ultimate or I don't know why I can't keep this color of blue in my mind here. What is this? Man, what color blue is this? I keep forgetting. It's just not strong in my mind with this Prussian blue. I don't use it. I don't normally use it, so it just doesn't stay in my mind. Yeah, I don't use it too much. All right. All right. I'll pop his eye in there. Something like Actually, I don't like that because it makes it look like he's looking up. I don't like it, so I'll get rid of it. We'll do it again. We'll use black. We'll just give him. Pop it out there like that. We'll add more wrinkles to his eyes too. This is thick paint. Gotta add a little bit of water, loosen it up a little bit. And then to get a nice fine line, you're gonna have to really paint with the top of the brush. And it gives it that eye a little bit of a dip. We'll darken this with a black. It'll probably look a little bit better. With that frill there. The inside frill. Alright, okay. As I'm looking at it, we can strengthen up that the bottom part of the horn a little more black there. And we'll fade this. And we'll take the same brush, we'll just add water. And we'll kind of soften the edge a little bit. Just like that, just kind of bring it out a little bit there and then fade. We'll do the same thing for the horn that's closest to us there. Kind of deepen it a little bit right in here. All right. There. Yeah, sometimes when I listen to that show, I just roll my eyes. But once again, it's background chatter. All right. As I'm looking at it here, because we're near the end, we'll do cute little highlights, just not really too bad. Where the sun might kind of sort of touch the underneath there, just a little bit, not you know, nothing too exaggerated. We'll highlight the back leg there a little bit there, like that. All right, let's take a script liner. Now this is a liner brush, not this one. Take a script liner if I can find that thing. Of course, I dipped my brush right into the white paint. Not good. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Right in front of my face. Okay, let's go back into our white. Let's go get a little bit of green here. Much like that. Water it down a bit. Up around his feet, you can start adding grass. Obviously, they're being trampled, so you kind of, you know. All right, and you kind of come up here and all up in there. Add the creature into the painting. smashed grass. You got grass all up in front of his feet. All right. You gotta make him. You gotta include him into the painting. Okay. Oh, we'll kind of have it come forward like that. Just really mash the grass in there with him. You don't need too much, but just, you know, you got to incorporate the beastie in there. Okay. So don't be scared. Got to put it in there, all right? And you start adding some more things in there, here and there. Okay. Oh, boy, whoever that lady they're interviewing, she's really passionate about her UFOs and aliens and Anunnakis and. All right, let's pull back a little bit here. Once again, we're pretty much, almost done here. All right, let's put it right here. Let's pop that down there. Let's pull back a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, I guess we're okay around, almost around where, around, oh, that, man, around here would be cool, I guess. All right, let's put it in focus there. I'm looking, when you see me looking, I got a 40-inch TV screen. I'm looking at what you're looking at essentially. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, because you guys, this is, you know, I think we're pretty much done. I don't believe I have to add anything else to this painting. I am looking at it still. I'm checking things out. But I can get rid of where's my hand? I can get rid of that, and I can get rid of this box here. And yeah, thank you, Passion for Art. Hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. And the algorithm would appreciate it also. I think I'll throw my initials on this. I think this is more or less finished for tonight. Okay. All right, there we go. I think we're all right. I think we're good. I don't believe I need to add anything else. Oh, my coffee's cold. That leaves me disappointed. Anyway, I needed to get done with this. This is two objects that were masked. The dino was masked. The barn was masked. You cut it, you do the whole scene and everything, then you peel off the tape, and you paint in your subjects, and you know, there you go. All right. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think nothing else really needs to be added. I won't put the I'm tempted to, but I won't put an eagle in there. I will not put the dreaded, I call it the Radio Shack, the Walmart eagle. I won't put one of those in there. I'll leave it with just the dino. And I'm using rubbing alcohol on my glass palette to clean it. Just give it a few seconds. I don't know if I have I don't think I got a frame that size to show you what it would look like in a frame, but we'll take the tape off. And then I'll put it back on a more or less a full screen. You guys can see what it actually does look like. All right. Because the painting is kind of squished because of the overlay cameras on the side. I'm starting to use canvas more. You gotta be kidding me, right? I think it's when I masked the creatures, I must have put the X-Acto knife over across those. Now, to me, I like a bordered edge because it looks a little more. Yeah, I did. That's why it's coming apart like that. It just looks a little more professional. I like kind of the crisp edges and such. All right. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Shay. Let's clean this off here. As you can see, it comes right off. Now, rubbing alcohol works better with this stuff. Taking this stuff off. It really does. And I use a metal. I keep wanting to call it a putty knife. It's a why can I not remember what these things are called? What's going on with me today? Palette knife. All right, let's get some paper towel here. Then you do a little bit more and just wipe it off. It comes clean. Let me get rid of this water. This water is disgusting. I have 2 of these buckets. All right. More paper towel. Let's wipe this off. I am in the habit of cleaning off my palette. I used to be like a few people and just leave the paint on the palette. That's just don't do that. That's just, you're just killing yourself. Don't do that. You just wipe it off. It's clean as a bean. Only takes a few seconds. Okay. I don't know what material they put on the surface of this, but you know, there you go. All done. It dries in seconds, and you know, that's it. All right, let's make this disappear. We go bye-bye. There you go. That goes bye-bye. Let's put it on screen 4. There. That's the way she looks. That's the actual size of her. All right. That's it, guys. All right. Okay. So. Whew. My goodness. So I hope, you know, this looks okay for you guys. Hope you like it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Like I say, I don't do too many dinos and DINO-COWs. But you still see that the light source. You still see where the light's coming from the tree, from the barn, and from the animal itself over there on one side. Okay. Pretty cool. I enjoy doing it. Pretty neat. A little more care with the barn. I have to be careful because the glycerin is still a little tacky up. Yeah, it's still a little tacky up there. You see the print there. Okay, so still a little tacky. definitely still tacky here. All right, I can touch it and you'll see my print there. But it's the glycerin. It takes a little while for it to dry. All right, when you do highlights on the barn, yellow or orange and a little bit of white. Okay, don't use red and white because it turns pink. Okay, which is what I use for the barn, the slats for the wood there is pink. All right, I just used either red and black or brown and black. Okay, and then obviously I use sienna. I created a sienna, and all of the colors are in relation to each other. Okay, gray is neutral. It loves everybody. Okay, which is how I got away with obviously painting the Triceratops here. It's just gray and gray mixed with blue. Okay, then I put his black and white patches like underoos on him. Okay, you know, I did not paint the horns like super white or whatever, because they probably wouldn't be. All right, so it's a weird kind of 3/4-ish view of him. So and you know, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, everything tells a story, even though this story doesn't make sense. But it's probably a younger Triceratops. It's not a baby, but it's not really full grown. But it's big enough to flip your car over, that's for sure. All right. Okay. If nobody has any comments or any questions, you guys know the deal. I will make a what do you call it? A thumbnail of this, and I'll post the actual painting online. I do have a title for it already, but you guys will see that in a few minutes. But I like to, well, Shane, it is for sale. Definitely for sale. Yes, I've shipped all over the world. I've shipped to Hawaii, Africa, all over Europe. One went to the Jamaica or the Bahamas, somewhere out there. All over the place. I've shipped them too. So, but yep, just contact me, email me, or message me if you're on Messenger. Whoever might be interested in this. Okay, thank you, Bree. I appreciate it. Thank you. Passion for Art, I appreciate it. I'd like to thank Adam for stopping in there. I do appreciate it. You know, his kids are getting taller by the day. Yes, Adam, I do see them. I see the pictures. Boy, they're getting tall, getting big. All right, guys, I think that's it for this evening for me. Okay. I think I'll watch my buddy. He's got about 20 more minutes. Jessica may or may not, Passion for Art may or may not come on directly after me. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you. I shall see you guys when I see you. Who knows what I'll do next? But thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And I shall see you soon. Peace.